All right, hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Maneaters series. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with an awesome special guest. He hasn't been on this show before, but he's been on a few of my podcasts and stuff before. Please welcome Cameron Scott. How are you doing, Cameron?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing? Greetings and salutations.
So Cameron and so I asked him if you wanted to be on the Maneater series, and you hadn't really heard of the Maneater series, right?
Yeah,
Like,
like I didn't know it as the Man-Eater series. I had heard of several of the films that are like in that lineup, but I didn't know what it was. So when I kind of like did some research, I was just like, oh, well, there's a lot of movies right up my alley. I love creature features.
yeah, I think all of them are creature features. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one was an interesting one, and we'll get into a lot more specifics in a bit. We watched the what was it, 2000 and
Seven.
7? Oh my goodness.
2007, I think.
Oh boy. 2007 film Blood a Monkey. Every time I hear it, I want to go Blood Monkey, that funky monkey.
Okay. I thought that same thing.
So it is it's honestly it's okay. It's not my favorite of the ones I've seen so far. It's not even really up there with my favorites so far. It's okay of a movie. In my
Yeah.
opinion, it I think it struggles a lot. And we'll go into specifics in a bit. So basically, the story is a group of I guess they're scientists, or they're supposed to be.
Yeah, science like college grad students, I think.
Yeah, so science college grad students are kind of called to
It's
go
very
to.
vague. That's part of the downfall of this movie. Everything is very vague.
They go to, well, they don't say where they go. They're like, I guess, in an island, but it's Thailand. I looked it up, and they actually filmed in Thailand, which, I mean, it looked beautiful at first, like the caves and other stuff, but most of the time they were in the woods and didn't look like, it just looked like woods to me. Like,
Yeah, it just looked like woods, jungle. I mean, there's some parts where they get to some waters, waterfalls, and some cliffs and stuff that looks very beautiful, and it's shot very well. I mean, it looks really good, but a lot of it's just very nondescript jungle. Like they just stumbled upon the old set from Predator and was just like, yeah, we'll use this.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's exactly what it seems like Predator. So all right, I'm gonna bring up some of the things. It's so funny on IMDb. They call it Blood Monkey with like one word. It's like Blood Monkey, like all one word. And so
Yeah, I know. I didn't get that at all.
yeah, because the rest, like if you look on Tubi and you look on everywhere else, it's Blood Monkey, like with the space. It's whoever was the smart person to do the IMDb for this, put it in wrong or something.
Yeah, didn't hit the
Um,
space.
So it had a pretty stellar cast. I mean, right off the bat, you got F. Murray Abraham, who um I thought he was gonna only be like a little bit. You know how you see like a big name like him, and he's
Mhm.
only in it for like maybe 5-10 minutes, like in the beginning, the end, but he's
I
never
caught the
like
old like the Rooker Howard bait and switch. Little put him at the top, headlining it, but he's in it for 3 minutes. But he was
right.
actually in it for quite a bit. I'm like, F. Murray fucking Abraham. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm down. But he was phoning it in.
He
He
was.
might be an Oscar winner, but man, he was phoning it in. He was
I
needed some beer money that month. Or sorry. I'm
Well, I don't think it's his fault. I think it's like literally what they gave, which is so funny because okay, so first of all, yeah, I have to point this out. The co-writer of the film is Gary Dauberman, who is who did like Annabelle and It and a whole bunch of stuff. I mean,
he
uh
got better. He got
yeah,
better,
he
didn't
got better. He definitely got better.
he?
But honestly, maybe it was more of like the other people's stuff or whatever, because I thought the writing was lacking
Oh,
in
it
a
was
lot.
lousy.
It was terrible. I think
There's a lot of pacing issues and just a lot of it was I shouldn't say pacing issues because it moves along very fast. It's not like action packed, but it moves along at a steady, nice clip. But there's a whole lot of getting to nowhere. is what
Right.
I call it. It's like it felt like filmmaking in general. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, and wait.
Exactly. I mean, the worst part is you got these like killers, basically these creatures that you just can't kill. Nobody even kills any of them or anything. You
No,
notice none of the creatures died. You know,
no.
so
And the
none
thing
of
is that you hardly ever see the creatures. You catch glimpses of them, and that might work for the first act. Hell, it might even work for the second act. But by the time you get to act three, you better be showing me something. And they don't really ever show you anything.
no.
They never get to the meat and potatoes of it. There's always a glimpse and whatnot. It's like the creatures. It's about a blood monkey. I want to see a fucking blood monkey. All I saw was like shadow of blood monkey.
Yeah, you saw the shadow, and then later you actually did see the blood monkey at the end of the fucking
Yeah, at the end,
movie. You saw the monkey, and I'm like, that was a
with like
fucking
3 minutes to go.
no, not even that. Like with like less than that or whatever, because it was like it because you saw the blood monkey in the cave, and then like it cuts to the credits, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you got to fucking see the blood monkey then, and it looked good. Why couldn't you, like, were they afraid like people just wouldn't buy it if they showed it the whole time, or like, I mean,
I guess. I mean, that was my train of thought here. That was one of the notes I had taken here, was just like they were afraid to show the blood monkey.
yeah,
And they really, like I was thinking that there would be like a monkey that drank blood or something, or that was something to do with blood, but like it's really just kind of a throwaway title.
mm-hmm.
It's, you know what I mean? I mean, it does make sense, but it doesn't. And some of these poor actors, I mean, some of them, have gone on to do much better things. I mean,
Matt
Matt
Ryan.
Ryan. Yeah, I was just going to say Matt Ryan, and now he's all up in the DC universe playing Constantine. He's my boy. I like him. It was nice to see him in kind of an early role and
It,
whatnot.
it
You could see
was,
the
but
charisma.
you can see the charisma, but you can also see it was an early role for him. Or maybe he was phoning it in too. I don't know, but there were times I was just kind of like, I felt really weird for his character, you know. I think I lost you
Rose
for
up
a
there.
second. Yeah. Okay, there you are.
Yep. Sorry,
Sorry,
everything
it's
froze up for a second.
uh all right, so yeah, so Matt Ryan, we had him, and I don't know who Amy Manson is, but apparently she's been in a few things. She was in like I mean, it looks like she was mainly in oh, she's in The Nevers, which is on HBO right now. So, you know.
Well, I came away from it like this. It was a paycheck movie. This is what it felt like to me. Even like Matt Reeves or Matt Ryan, you could tell he was like, okay, I'm starting out. I'll take this movie. But the guy that stood out the most to me, he seemed like he was going to be like a great character, but then he just went downhill. Was the great character that Matt Reeves plays. Like
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I was entertained by him at first, and then it just got to be like, okay, this guy was the facilitator of the Me Too movement back in like 2007.
Right, he was taking video of all the girls' butts and other things, and you
Yeah, and being
know,
highly inappropriate. And it's like, this is not 1982 anymore, man. You don't get away with that.
but then he like his character completely switches like randomly, and it feels like it was like almost felt like two different movie like characters. Like he was almost not the same person to me, you know?
It kind of made me wonder if more than one person had their big toe dipped into the directing aspect of it. Like if the writer
Maybe.
was in one ear and the director was in the other ear, because it just seems like he does a switch and a flip flop, because he gets kind of heroic all of a sudden out of nowhere, and it's just like, where did this side of him come from?
And he's all nice to the other guy he was like joking on the whole time, kind of bullying a little bit, you know?
Oh, the
And
Josh character, yeah.
yeah, Josh. Well, I liked him, but and then there was one thing that really annoyed me as far as writing goes. So they were at the cliff, right? And they're
Yeah,
about to like jump, or they had to go down the
yeah,
cliff
that the
and everything.
rappel down or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I
and
think that's the right
so
word, rappel.
what is it? What's her name? Sydney. did not want to go. She was like, no, I'm not going. You know, the blonde girl is just like, I don't want to go.
Yeah,
You can't
can't
make
say I
me go.
blame
I
her.
want to go down, whatever. They pretty much tell her, you know, you have to go. This is, you know, this is the big opportunity for you, blah, 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 right? So it convinces her. Then all of a sudden it's the Josh character that didn't want to go at all, like was scared.
Yeah,
And I
because
was
all of a
like,
sudden she's already halfway down and doing fine, and then he's the one that gets all tangled up in the ropes and get
wouldn't it
and
have been the opposite? Like,
yeah.
shouldn't it have been a her who's like freaking out when she's on there or something? Like it was as if they when they were writing it, they changed their minds or something. Like they flip flopped.
Well, you said it earlier with the Gray character. Like his character flip flops, goes from being the guy joking on everybody to being all like super heroic.
Right then,
Yeah, yeah,
that we saw the spot. We saw the spot where everything fun fucking changes and it
right.
becomes weird. Like it's almost
Makes
like
me
a
wonder if it was like a troubled production and halfway through somebody else took over and it was one of those like Toby Hooper, Steven Spielberg poltergeist moments, and it was just like, all right, not going to get into that now, but that's a show for another time. But you know,
right. But
who
yeah,
knows?
I don't know. Like I don't know what happened, but that was it was so strange, right? Like all of a
Right.
sudden their character was kind of just like, you know, like flip flopped. Um
I think the biggest what the fuck moment of this movie was when they not when they first introduced F. Murray Abraham as Professor Hamilton, right?
right, Hamilton.
Like, but when he first gets introduced to them, to the college kids, and he goes and picks up that little stick of that log, and it's like the introduction scene where he's going and waking everybody up, and he just kind of tink tink hits the stick on the wall, tink tink. It was so uneventful. It was just like, what the hell is he supposed to be doing? You know, he's not like wrapping friggin' trash can lids, making noise like a drill sergeant, like in Full Metal Jacket. I think that was like the entrance they were aiming for. It was so uneventful. It was like, oh, wah wah. It's like all I got is a stick to wrap on the wall.
Right.
It was so ridiculous. And he's crazy. He's by far the best character of the movie.
Oh, Hamilton?
Yeah, he's the most colorful. You know,
Yeah.
he chews it up, but he flip flops. At one moment, he's like, "I can't let you leave. I won't allow it." Then he's like, "No, it's okay. I'm gonna let you leave."
Well, no, no,
You
no.
know,
No, that was okay. I was okay with that. Because at that point he was gonna use them as bait. So he was like, oh, you can
right?
leave because we'll let you leave so that basically that Chen girl, or I think that was her name, Chen, could like,
Jen,
basically kidnap the girl and like or Sydney and like set her free.
I might take it
Um
back. Chen might have been my favorite character, actually.
Chen was fun, but like I feel like that character never really got fully developed, like
No, no.
I feel like there was still some development that could have been used for that.
And they go through the obligatory scene where they wake up and all their cell phones are magically missing, and they
It
try to
reminded
take
me
the
of The New
camera.
Wrong Turn. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, I know of it, but I haven't seen it yet. No,
They have a similar scene. I mean, they stole it from this, like all their
maybe.
cell phones are missing. But I like that scene because then F. Murray Abrahams like I'm the one who told her to do it.
And they're
So
all right with it. They follow him around. Well, they're not all right with it, but like they follow him around for a long time. And just like this dude stole our phones, smashed. The one lady drop kicked Sydney's like makeup case or her little case, like just drop kicks it into oblivion. Tries to take their camera, but they're not supposed to have cell phones where they can take pictures or do anything. But they let her take the camera to document it.
yeah, no, that was even weirder because yeah, he was saying you can't document like you can't. I don't want you documenting it, but I want you document. Like
Yeah,
it was like I think really he did the cell phone so that they didn't call for help.
right. I
Which
think that
is
was definitely it.
which is the whole thing of like how do we in horror films you always see like like the question of like why don't they just get on their cell phone now and call the cops or something,
Right.
right? Or call for
Yeah.
help.
It's a movie trope that you got to have now because it's a different day and age. It's not 1983, and it's not a Friday the 13th film. So everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody, your
Everybody.
grandparents have cell phones.
But if you're in the middle of like the woods in Thailand like that, I guarantee you're not going to have service. But I guess it does beat that whole like, oh, we can't have you find any service, because that is like a cliche trope, So
Right.
having somebody say, I'm going to steal your phones, but it still didn't make any sense. Like, he stole the phones because he didn't want them documenting, but then he wants them videotaping so that they can document. It didn't, it was just like, what?
It's not making a whole lot of sense.
I know. I swear to God, these.
Can we talk about the bad CGI flies?
Oh
when
yeah,
they find the body parts and they find like the chunks of meat that looks like a rack of ribs, covered in everything from the fake little plastic flies to the very bad CGI flies that are just buzzing around. I had to rewind it. I was watching it on Tubi. I rewound it, hit the 30-second back button several times. I was like, God, that's so bad. Boom, gotta watch it again.
There you go, Tubi. You got. I don't know if they count every time you go backwards if they get more money from that, but it's just it was just kind of a clusterfuck of a movie in a way, but it wasn't terrible. Like, it wasn't like laughable bad. Like, this is so terrible that I can't believe that sci-fi put this out.
Right. I mean, it was shot well from a technical standpoint. It looked good. It sounded good. It didn't have like sometimes a lot of those movies have some wonky audio. But the audio was good. I mean, it was shot well, and it was impressive location. The location was probably the most, at certain points was some of the most impressive aspects of the film. Like when they're not just like in the woods, but when they're on the outskirts of the woods and they're rappelling down, going into the ravine, and it was a beautiful location.
Now, you kept saying Matt Reeves, and when I first saw that name, I automatically was like, wait, he acted? Like, because I was thinking of the Godzilla director, or what was it Godzilla, or was it no, he did Rogue. Didn't he do Matt Reeves? You know what I'm talking about? The
No, I don't.
yeah, he's a okay. Which one did he do?
I wonder if it's a different Matt Reeves.
Yeah, it's got to be a different Matt Reeves. He's a director. Okay, yeah. The Matt Reeves I was thinking of was the director of the War of the Planet of the Apes, which would seem like a perfect segue.
Yeah, I see he did do 28 Weeks Later as like extra bunker soldier number 7.
Yeah, so I don't think it's the same guy, but he for some reason I kept thinking it was the Rogue. Who's the one who did Godzilla?
Was that Adam Weingart?
No, Gareth Edwards. Okay, never mind. Completely different person. And did you do Rogue? The Star Wars story, Rogue One.
Oh, Rogue One. That's
Gareth Edwards. Yeah, same guy who did Godzilla, like the 2014 Godzilla. But anyway, point is, I for some reason I got him confused with that Matt Reeves who did Cloverfield. But yeah, it's a different Matt Reeves, I guess. I would hope so. Like, I would hope that guy wasn't stuck doing Blood Monkey, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere, but yeah, like that wouldn't not be something I would be bragging about. I'd be like, I was in Blood Monkey. It's like, okay.
A lot of these people probably put a lot of that stuff off their resumes and stuff. That's a different Matt Reeves.
Matt Ryan's is like, I did not do that. I did not do that fucking movie.
Oh man, I bet now they're putting that shit all over the place for if they like re-release Blood Monkey starring Matt Ryan from Constantine.
Oh yeah. They'd bank on that. They'd be like, forget Beth Murray Abraham. That was our star in 2007.
Yeah. I mean,
it's very much a combined elements of like little bits of like Predator, a little bit of Congo and a little bit of Jurassic Park all kind of thrown together in a blender and then executed badly.
That's a perfect example of it. That's the combination. You meet Congo meets Jurassic Park meets Predator meets a lot of other shit. Like it's just like a bunch of crap put together. What I was gonna say, do you think they peed on them? Do you think that was piss? Because
yeah, I called it before they did because it was like the way it was streaming out. I'm like, that's yellow, and it's like, and it was just streaming from the trees. I was like, before that, because it goes on for like a good 60 seconds straight or 2 minutes. Like, oh, it's raining out there on our tents. I'm like, no, the fucking blood monkeys are pissing on you. Because the one guy was just like, sometimes they pee or they urinate on their prey. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what they did. Yeah, I totally think so.
Okay, I'm just checking to see that because I saw it once, but I wasn't paying that close attention to the yellowness of the of what they thought was rain at first or whatever.
And then the guy sticks his foot out. They's like, "Oh, your foot's making everything smell bad. Stick it outside the tent." I was like, okay, and he's gonna get dragged away in 3.
I called that. 1. I called that.
I was like, that's happening, and it did.
I thought he was gonna get his leg like 8 or something, or whatever, chopped off or something. But no, he got dragged away, which is a typical. Like they did that a lot,
Yeah, they did it a couple times, at least twice.
Yeah, I think it was 3 times or 4 because like I know Sydney got. No, she didn't. No, she got whacked really hard.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I know the one girl got dragged away when she was running, pulled away. Like she was running, and then all of a sudden at the end, the last 3 girls.
And how many times do they have to show somebody going to the bathroom in this movie? The blood monkeys are pissing on the tents. F. Murray Abraham grabs a roll of toilet paper before he goes into their little hut that's to go down and sit down and take a shit. The one girl, Sydney, goes out to pee when the Shen character is outside. You think it's the blood monkey, but it's Shen. Spoilers, but like, really, do we need 3 bathroom scenes in this? I mean, like, some pacing issues here.
By the way, we've had spoilers all this whole time, so this show's nothing but spoilers, and that's fine with me. Yeah, no, I think they think just like how Quentin Tarantino always has like a bad scene in a bathroom, like always has the thing where if you go to the bathroom, something bad always happens to you.
Right.
Like in Pulp Fiction, it happens like 2 or 3 times. Like the girl goes to the bathroom and does the coke. Then later she ODs on it, or whatever.
John Travolta goes to the restroom, comes back out, and there's Bruce Willis with a machine gun.
Yep, exactly. So anytime you go to the bathroom in a Tarantino film, something bad's gonna happen to you.
Right.
So just, I've noticed that when I started watching it. It's just like if you watch him, he has feet all over the place. He has feet, bare feet. It have to be bare feet. And
oh yeah, man has definitely got a foot fetish.
Yeah. But the people who made this movie, I did not see any. Well, I might have seen some bare feet, but I don't remember. Maybe when they were in the tent. But that tent scene was so weird before they started peeing on it. It was such a strange scene because, like, I thought like there was, and it was supposed to be a kind of a comedy scene, but I feel like it was directed terribly or something because it didn't make me laugh. But
it kind of makes you just cringe a little bit, right?
Right. Yeah. There was a because like, yeah, so he's talking to her or whatever, and it looks like there's like a romantic like thing between them, and maybe there's going to be, but they never really, did anything with it.
Yeah, they kind of hold hands and Eskimo kiss for like 1 second, and then that's really like all you get.
And then the guy, Josh, is like next to him, or whatever.
Right.
He's like, she's like, I really like your big tent, and I'm like, wow, all right. And then
not even gonna wait for homeboy over here to fall asleep before they're getting ready to get frisky. Is just like, hey, I'm still over here. I'm my ass is pressed against your ass. This is uncomfortable.
I don't remember, but I do remember them checking on to see if the other people are awake. right?
I think so.
Were they talking? Was one of them talking about like? Were they talking about fucking? Because they did not. Like
I
it
don't
was
think
just a
so.
strange scene. Like, why are we gonna wait till they're asleep before we like? I don't know what the hell.
I don't know. Again, it was weirdly paced,
It's weird.
badly acted, poorly
Well,
written.
yeah, because all right, you have an hour and a half, you know, and a lot of it's talking and walking, right? Like the people don't start dying till almost the third act. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you're sitting there like waiting. I'm like, okay, it's been like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and no monkeys have come out yet. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is going
A
on
few
here?
things running around out in the bushes, like shaking the trees, and that's really all you get is little.
And
It's like,
some of
oh,
it's
was that
like,
something?
oh my god, it's like a fake out scene or whatever, and it's like
Yeah.
bullshit. But
Yeah. Other than like the killing at the opening, and then the guy that pops back up that's from the first group that comes up and he's got a whole like chunk of his chest exposed, and they're like, oh, we're just gonna calmly wait till everybody's asleep and bury him 20 feet outside of camp. They didn't
right.
even go that far trying to cover it up. They're like, we're just gonna go 15, 20 feet over here and dig him a shallow grave. Never really explaining who the fuck he was.
And I don't think they'd ever would because or whatever. F. Maria Abraham's character did not want, like for the longest time, he didn't want to tell them why they were really out there, what the whole point was. And so
Yeah.
I was sort of disappointed in that too, because like the sort of the fun part of the, of it, right?
Right,
It's
right.
sort of
Well,
like,
he
you
keeps
know,
leading them along, and like that, it's like he leads them along like this is camp, but we have to go further. Nobody else has ever been here. Then they get like, well, no, this is the main camp, and I still can't tell you what's going on, but this is really where we need to be. But we're going to go further. And I'm like, really? Are you? I'm like, I think you're just shooting from the hip here, Murray.
yeah. There's one point he goes, "This is it. This is the spot we're gonna have to like camp out. Put your tents up here." And I'm like, this doesn't look like there's any space like anywhere. Like how
Right,
like all the trees are like right next to you. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, good God, this does not look open at all. Why
right.
would you want to set up your tents there? But
I think they
whatever.
allowed. I really think, and I would be interested to find this out somehow for actual for certain. I bet you they let him ad lib most of his dialogue.
Or
Like
he
I'm
just
sure.
or he did it on his own anyway. A
Yeah.
lot of actors do that. A
Like
lot
I
of
see what you're written, but I'm going to say whatever I want.
Donald Sutherland, I believe, was really like normal for doing that. Like he would always get cast in a film and he would rewrite his own dialogue, or whatever, because he I don't know,
Yeah, I
maybe
can totally
thought
see.
he was better than that. I think that F. Murray Abraham probably did that too. But some of it didn't make any sense. I'm sorry, my sister's dog is just like playing in the
Hi,
background.
puppy.
You know, she can't hear you, but hey, she wants to hear us talk about the blood monkeys.
She's like, I
Blood
want to hear about Flunky.
monkeys. That was the
Yeah,
really annoyed me too. Is don't call it blood monkey, call it blood monkeys.
yeah,
There's definitely more than one.
yeah. You definitely figure out by the end that there's definitely like a pack of them.
Yeah.
Unless that thing had three dongs that it was whipping out trying to piss on all those tents.
Oh, there's a
That,
whole bunch that were pissing.
yeah.
Mm.
Oh man.
But all in
But
all,
as much as we're ripping on it, I still think it was a fun watch. Like I had fun watching it.
okay, so it's sort of one of those sci-fi movies that back in the day when I would be on like Sci-Fi Channel or whatever, if I saw this, I might be interested in watching it, and I would have probably watched it. I probably would have enjoyed it, for what it is, because
Yeah.
it's a movie that's pretty much just, you know, I don't know, just sort of
It says bad layered with more bad heat with a big dollop of bad on top of it.
exactly.
But it's still fun. It's not it wasn't like a chore to get through because every step of the way I was just like I was stuck to it going, what the hell is going to happen next? Because I was intrigued. I guess I was in hope that something like exciting was going to happen. We were finally going to get to see the blood monkeys really in like all their glory. And that's why I was kind of let down by the end. I'm like, oh, we got to see the blood monkeys for 15 seconds, man.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but what can you do?
Yeah.
But all right, man. Well, I guess that's about wraps it up. I mean, I honestly, like I said, it was fun enough where I would probably watch it if it were on Sci-Fi Channel. I own it, because I'm trying to own all the Man-Eaters movies. I watched it on Tubi, gave some money to Tubi, basically for it. I
That's where I watched it. Yep.
I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd want to really like I said, if it's on Sci-Fi Channel or something, or if I'm just bored or want to show somebody or something, I'll probably watch it again, but not anytime soon. It's not
To be honest, this is a movie that I would watch with my wife because we
okay.
both love creature features and we both love bad movies. So like it's our thing to like on Friday, Saturday nights sometimes watch like a double or triple feature of bad creature feature movies, bad monster movie. This is a perfect one of those. This is one of those that I would watch with her and we would rip on it like riff track style for an
Yeah.
hour.
This is a movie that you could get with your friends and watch and just kind of rip on it, especially considering, I mean, it's got F. Murray Abraham, it's got a huge
Chewing up
star,
scenery, chewing up
yeah,
scenery and toilet paper. I do gotta
exactly.
say one thing before we sign off. There was one super creepy scene that was like the one real, like I'm using air quotes right here, creepy scene of it is when Matt Ryan is hanging all the little t-shirt strips, the little white t-shirt that he was tearing up. And
Right.
then, to kind of like a trail of breadcrumbs to lead his way back. And then at the very end, when they get to that cave in the last 3 minutes, and they look up above them, and those t-shirt strips, all like 100 of them or whatever, a couple dozen of them, are hanging from the trees. So you know that the monkeys, got them all and tied them up. And then it's just like, oh, you all are so fucked.
Oh, my favorite. Okay, I forgot to mention this. God, I forgot. Well, I don't know why I forgot to mention this. My favorite death in the whole movie was F. Murray Abraham's death, because
Yes.
that was so freaking cool. And I guarantee you, I bet I have this feeling if I ever met him, I'll ask him why he signed on to this, and I bet he would say because of that scene, because that was the coolest, like whoosh, right through his body, and I mean, it
And then
was
he has them record it for posterity, and he's like, record it me in my final moments. And he's like,
yeah.
I get to give this monologue speech with
I
even spikes sticking out of my chest.
I love how he goes, they did this. They were the ones who did this. Like he was so proud of the fact that he discovered these creatures who he might not have been the first ones to discover them, but we would never know because all the people before probably died,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
They got pissed on and then they got eaten.
I know.
That's what happened to him. But so, yeah.
At
Yeah, I
least they
have to
didn't
agree.
throw shit at him, because that would have been like, wouldn't that be crazy if they had their toilet paper and all of a sudden there's like shit being thrown at you, you know?
As we know, monkeys are prone to prone to throw their feces.
That's what I would say, That's I if I were writing it, I would I would have them have radioactive poop,
There you go. At least I would have made that would have thrown the monkey wrench into it. Uh,
Oh, pun intended, I'm sure.
yes. Oh, every pun intended.
I know. Well, sometimes my puns are not intended. But well, thank you so much for this. It was fun. It was I'm gonna say
Yeah.
this, and I don't want to diminish the movie itself, but it was cute,
Yeah.
That's how I would
I
describe
was
it.
glad. I was glad I seen it. I don't think that I would ever buy it. If it's streaming somewhere like Tubi or Pluto or anywhere else for free, or one of the streaming services that I pay money for, I would watch it again. I would never pay money to buy it. But like, I would definitely recommend this for people that either love bad movies or like a good, I consider it a good party movie. This is the kind of movie you put on and watch with other people and have
And
fun
can
just ripping on it.
so yeah, I only own it because it's in like a collection of like packs for the Maneaters series. I bought a whole bunch last year or maybe it was earlier this year, because I knew I was going to be doing the show. So I was like, well, I'll start buying them. So some of them have like multi packs, and everything, and like 6 packs or 3 packs or whatever, and so I was like, sure, let me buy this 6. I think it's in my 3 pack with like another couple episodes, a couple movies.
I think I own one of them. I think I own the Malibu Shark Party or Malibu Shark Attack. I got that on.
I don't own that one yet.
I have that one in like a Shark 6-pack of like movies I bought on DVD.
Oh, yeah. It is on that pack, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shit, I should
It's
probably
like
get
that and like Sand Sharks and Six-Headed Shark Attack and a couple of others.
That's awesome. Well, I'm thankful that you were on this season. I don't know who's like, because we got one more episode left of this season. The next season will be next year, and I think a lot of it's gonna be, because a lot of them they're not on Tubi, or Amazon or anything, of these. So a few are gonna have to be in person, ones, the ones we watch. So
well, if you want me back for another one, if I can get a copy of the movie or whatnot, I'll be more than happy to come on and watch another one of these with you.
that would be perfect. Definitely. If you could get a copy of it. I mean, that who doesn't like buying movies, or whatever.
I just bought 2 today when I was out shopping at Myers, and I was not there to buy movies. I was there to buy groceries, and I still bought 2 more movies.
Of course,
to
you're
add
just
to the
like
list
me.
of probably 250 that I probably got sitting around that I haven't watched yet.
I was gonna buy just one movie today, of course, and ended up with 5. So
Yep.
That's just
We're
how it is.
Physical media junkies. I know, man.
Just how
it's
it
not
is,
easy
man.
on the pocketbook, is it?
No, never is, but. All right. Well, thank you so much. How can people listen to your podcast?
It's Cinema Degeneration. It's a network of shows. We have a whole bunch of things we're working on. Right now, we're doing Killer Wheels Appreciation Month. We're doing our regular show, Grindhouse Pizzeria, Howling at the Full Moon. We've got several shows covering all sorts of films, foreign horror, full moon horror, you name it, we cover it. But you can find it. I launch everything off of Podbean, but it's on Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Apple iTunes, you name it. Pretty much anywhere you look, if you just type in Cinema Degeneration, you can find us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming out here, and stick around. I'll chat with you after. And thank you guys so much for checking this out. Join us on the 15th for the last episode of the season. I'm not sure what we're doing just yet. I have a couple ideas, so we'll see. All right. Well, thank you guys, and have a good one. Bye.
Bye.